I'm here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today I'm going to be making Jamaican codfish fritter. And I always have to make this disclaimer, especially when I'm cooking. Especially when I'm cooking. I am a diabetic. I've been living with diabetes all my life. And I've learned to manage it along with my medical providers, and I've learned how to cook so that the meals has nutritional value for me. So the meals have nutritional value. So there's some meals that I cook that I have to change up a little bit. I still want to enjoy the food. Especially cultural food that is so rich in carbs and oils and salt. I I want to eat them. And in order for me to eat them, I have to change them around so that the nutritional value is good for me. So what I'm going to do today again is I'm going to put a twist. I'm going to put a twist on this very, very famous, famous meal. I call it a snack. It's used for breakfast. It's eaten, folk eat it all day long, especially if you're in the island and you're going to the store, or when we visit and we're driving from the airport up to the hotel or to family. There's always a spot that is famous for the pudding and all the Jamaican foods, and we stop there and I'll grab whatever is there. When I'm on vacation, I am not as strict with my eating as I am when I'm home. Because home I'm in a controlled environment, and believe me, for me, I don't want to have to constantly worry about it. So I'm careful, but I tend to get a little bit more flexible. So with this fritter, I'm going to put a twist on it so that it has nutritional value for me as a diabetic. Okay? Welcome, welcome those of you that are in. Those of you that are in, welcome. Like, share, and subscribe for me. Like. Let me know if you're here, guys. Let me know if you're here. Let me know if you're here. Okay? So I'm going to start. And how I do it, even with bacon, I put all my dry ingredients first. I put all my dry ingredients first. So I have 1.5 cup of flour here in the sieve. With that, I have some curry powder because I love a little bit of coloring on it. And I also had paprika. So I'm going to put a little paprika. I also add a tad of salt. A tad of salt. I add a tad of salt. And then I really go in on the black pepper because I love that black pepper taste in the fritters. So then I had my black pepper. I add all my dry ingredients together. All my dry ingredients together. And I sift it. I sift it. Now over here, I have a stalk of scallion, green onions, it's called here in the US, and the king, habanero pepper. Now this pepper is extremely hot. This pepper is extremely hot. So when I cut it, I cut very thin slices. I cut very thin slices on the side. And then I go around it and cut them very, very thin. because if you get the seed of this pepper in there, unless you love really your eyes watery, this can get very hot. So if you notice, I cut around it so I don't touch the seed, and I don't throw it away. I make a hot pepper sauce with it that I could put in salmon or fish or chicken or whatever, with some vinegar and onions and garlic. That I'll show you that another time. And then I go in and I had a slice of my green peppers. In the West Indians, I heard them call it sweet pepper. I go in with that, and then a tad of baking powder. And I will tell you about the baking powder, why I only do a tad. I do less than a quarter teaspoon. And why I do that, and then I go in with my thyme for flavor. I go in with a sprig or two of thyme for flavor. And what I do is I take the leaves off. I take the leaves off. See? I just use my hand and I run it down the vein and I get all the leaves off. I get all the leaves off. See? All the leaves off. So that's how I do that. So in a bowl now, I have, let's call them vegetables. All the vegetables that are going to go in, all the vegetables that are going to go in, all the vegetables that are going to go in the fritter. I have them all here. So then I'm going to finish sifting. I'm going to finish sifting all my dry ingredients on top of the vegetables, the onions and the scallion and the green pepper and the thyme and the habanero pepper. I'm going to just sift the flour on top of that. I'm going to sift the flour on top of that. See? So I'm sifting my flour. I'm not going to make a lot, so that's why I only used a cup and a half. That's why I only used a cup and a half. So I'm going to mix that all in. I'm going to mix that all in. Mix that all in. And just to get them all in, a little bit more of salt because I didn't think I put enough before. I don't use a lot of sodium, but with codfish fritter, you want the dough. You want that dough to have a nice flavor with the onions and the green peppers and the habaneros and your thyme. You really want that flavor in there. So adding a tip of salt to your dry ingredients makes it. So I'm mixing all the onions and the peppers. I'm mixing them all in. I'm mixing them all in. Gonna continue sifting because these I pre-measured and put it in a strainer. So I pre-measured it before I put it in a strainer. Okay. Then I'm gonna add a tad of curry powder. Just, just enough, not overpowering. Not overpowering, just a tad. Because I don't like that white look on it. So just a tad. And I mix that over. And after I mix it, I leave it there for a little while before I add liquid in it. After I mix it, I leave it there for a little while before I put liquid in it. I leave it there for a little while before I put liquid in it. Okay? So, I'm mixing it all in. And you can taste it. You can taste, my grandmother taught me this, to taste dry ingredient. Good. And even wet ingredient, especially with cakes, I always taste my ingredient to make sure I have enough. To make sure I have enough of what I need. I taste it. So I'm going to, and this is how I make this fritter of a dietary value for me. Meaning I try not to eat things that don't add protein. Codfish fritter, codfish by itself, it really has no nutritional value except it provides fiber. The nutritional value is minimal. It's not like the regular fish. So for me, using the white flour, which I rarely use, but for fritter, I've tried whole wheat flour. It didn't taste good. And I love taste. I love to taste nice, tasty food. So for me, because I use the white flour, what I'm going to do now, I am going to add, yes, I know you guys are going to get excited when you see this. I'm going to add some beaten egg whites. Some beaten egg whites. And why am I doing that? Because the egg white has protein in it. And I need this fritter not just to be a blank nutritional or a blank snack. I need it to have nutritional value. So I'm adding my egg whites. And remember, it's doing the fritter my way. So I add egg white. The other thing I must remind you also is that egg white is a lifter. It's a rising agent. So because I had the egg white, remember when I was putting in the baking powder, I said a tad, because the egg white is already, it's already a rising agent. So therefore, I don't need to put a lot of baking powder in there. So I'm going to mix that in. I'm going to mix that in. I'm going to mix that in thoroughly. Going to mix it in. Okay, so the egg white is in. Now I'm going to add my water. Now I'm going to add my water. Because you want the consistency of the fritter to be almost like a pancake. Almost like a pancake. So we're going to roll it in. We're going to roll it in, and you don't want a dough. You want it pancakey. You don't want a dough. You want pancakey. So you make sure you get all that good stuff in there, all the peppers, all the onions. You get all of that in there. Get all of that in there, and you add your water as needed. I would not suggest pouring the whole cup of water in there, because you need a certain consistency, and if you probably if you put the whole cup, it will become too loose. So you do it gradually. So you mix it in, and you get it to the consistency that you want. Okay? You get it to the consistency that you want. It's almost where I need it. And because the egg white is in there, you want to really get it really mixed in properly. You want to get it mixed in properly. You want to get it mixed in properly. And for those of us who sometimes can't eat fried food, I don't eat fried food a lot, but my girlfriend bought this codfish for me from Jamaica, and I don't like it cooked. So I thought, you know what? Let me make some codfish cakes because I don't like it cook up on that with the tomato and the onions and all that. I'm not a codfish person. So when I do eat it, I like it like this. When I have my ackee, I have my ackee by itself or with salmon. I love ackee and salmon. So it's almost where I need it. But why I'm not going to add any more, why I'm not going to add any more liquid to it is because I have the codfish. And the process of the codfish is to wash it, wash the cod, then boil it. And when you boil it, you wash it again. And then I minced it. I minced it, not too fine because when I eat my fritter, I love to feel pieces of codfish in there. And before I mince it, I deboned it. Before I minced it, I deboned it. And I don't mind when I'm eating, taking out a few bones. When I was a child, I love when I eat in fritter, if there's a few bones in it, I don't mind it. So then I'm going to put it in the dough. I'm going to put it in the dough, and in doing that, I will know the consistency. In doing that, I will know the consistency. So I'm going to put it in the dough, and I'm just going to work it in the dough. I'm just going to work it in the dough. I love when I bite on the fritter, I don't taste the dough as much. I love when the fish is mixed in, that every bite you get a piece of fish in it. So this consistency doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all. So I'm gonna add a little bit more black pepper. Because that nice flavor of the black pepper in the codfish fritter reminds me of home, reminds me of my grandma cooking on that coal stove on the outside, especially on a Friday evening when she's cooking up all the stuff for the breakfast for the Sabbath, So it's really nostalgic to do this because it reminds me of home. So after I work that in properly, I think I'm gonna add a few more scallion to it. I think I'm gonna slice a few more scallions in it. I did two stalk of scallions, but I'm gonna do another half a stalk. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Please like as you come in. So I'm gonna put another half a stalk because the dough is really looking good, and you need that nice flavor. I'm all about flavor profile when I cook. Food tasting good. Not necessarily burning up your mouth, but just tasting really good so you can enjoy. I don't like food that burns my mouth up. I love to enjoy my food. So I added a half a stalk more of green onions to it. Welcome. Thanks for joining. So I added a half a stalk more of green onions to my dough, and it's really looking good. So now I'm going to get the oil. I'm using canola oil. I don't do a lot of fried foods because I'm a olive oil woman, but I also don't use olive oil to fry this because I need that nice flavor. So now that I've finished making the dough, I'm going to turn this stove on because I need this oil not to be too hot, but just hot enough so they're just sliding in the pan. Hot enough so they're just sliding in the pan. So I'm going to rest my dough for a minute. My liquid, it's all liquefied now. The flour is in, all the good seasonings are in. So I'm gonna rest it now until the oil gets cool. Until the oil gets cool, I'm going to rest it a bit. And if you want to add other seasoning, go ahead and do it. But I added some all-purpose seasoning. Then I added my thyme, as you saw. I added my scallion. I did a little green pepper. I did my habanero because with codfish you really need that nice habanero. And then I did my black pepper, a little bit of curry powder, and a little bit of smoked paprika. I love smoked paprika, especially when I'm doing fried chicken or stuff like this. And that's, you can put in whatever you want to put into your codfish. You can put that in, but that's what I put in. So now I'm preparing my station. I'm preparing my station for the frying. So I'm making sure everything is out the way that I don't need. I'm making sure everything is out the way that I don't need. I'll be right back. I'm waiting on the oil to heat, so I'll be right back. So as I'm waiting on the oil to heat, what I'm doing is I am cleaning up my station. I'm cleaning up my station. I love when I'm cooking, I love to clean as I go. So I'm cleaning up my station while I'm waiting on the oil to heat. Okay? Welcome, 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 welcome. Thanks for those that are coming in. Thanks for the like. Remember, those of you who have not done so, who is watching, please like, share, please. So I'm waiting on the oil because with this you can't preheat. You have to do it when you need it. So I'm waiting on my oil. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Let me know that you're here in the chat. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Hi, Sharon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. Thank you guys for joining. Like. So I'm making the great Jamaican codfish fritter for my snack during the week. For those of you who are just coming in, I am a diabetic, and when I make cultural food, as I said before, when I make cultural food, sometimes it's too much carbohydrates for me, sometimes it's too much sugar, sometimes it's too much fat. So I always have to put a spin on it because I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it. So this is codfish fritter my way. Thanks for coming in, guys. Thanks for coming in. Thank you for coming in. So when Sharon, when you finish, you can go back and watch how I did my dough and what I did to make it different and more nutritional for me. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm doing so much better, Sharon. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. I'm doing so much better. So I'm waiting on the oil to heat up, and then I'm going to start to drop my fritter in. And as I said, preparing everything you need before the cooking process makes it easier. So this is where I'm going to rest them when they're finished cooking, from the pot to here, from here to the pot, and from the pot to here, so they can drain the oil off. So they can drain the oil off and you don't have them being soggy. So again, thanks for coming in. Welcome. I'm making codfish fritters. My ingredients is about a quarter pounder for codfish. I washed it and boiled it and then shredded it and deboned it. I used a cup and a half of flour. I put a little bit of smoked paprika in the flour. I put my salt, I put my pepper, and I added also a little bit of curry because I love a little coloring in the fritter. So now the twist that I did on it is that I added 2 egg yolks for nutritional value for me. I added 2 egg yolks for nutritional value for me. Okay, so this is my twist on the great Jamaican fritter. Okay, sweetheart. This is my twist on the great Jamaican fritter, where I add the egg white. And as I said before, I didn't use a lot of baking powder because egg whites they're a rising agent. So therefore, the fritter is going to get that crispiness and natural crispiness from the egg, but I put a little tad of baking powder in it, just for the flavor. Okay? So to test my oil, and please, kids, to test my oil, kids, don't do this at home. Don't do this at home. I always just test it with my finger. Guys, I'm cooking at home, so that's why I put my finger in it. If I was cooking for someone, or if I was cooking for, and my hands are clean because I washed my hands properly before I start. But if I was cooking for someone, I would use a paper towel. If I was cooking for someone, you just okay, let me do it this way. Put the paper towel in there, and if it acts like it's frying, then you know the oil is hot enough. So I use a table napkin. I use a table napkin. Thank you, Sharon. Use a table napkin to I wish I could share it with you, Sharon. I use a table napkin to test my oil to make sure it's not too hot or it's not too cold, because I don't want the edges browning before the dough is fully cooked. Okay? So now I'm gonna turn the stove up a little bit more. My stove gets very hot, so that's why I don't turn it too high. So I'm gonna turn the stove up a little bit more just to get the oil where I need it to be. Just to get the oil where I need it to be. And then we'll start dropping the fritter dough in the oil. So for those of you who are watching, who are not active in the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please remember to like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and please share. Okay, so the oil is at the consistency I needed. So now I'm going to... Sharon, I don't see Jackie Gross, and I don't see them. I guess they're not home from work yet. I haven't seen them. So now I'm going to drop the fritter. And guys, this oil, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Like for me, please. Like for me, please. So now I'm going to drop the dough in. I'm going to drop the dough in, and I give it a second twirl so you get all the codfish in that dough and all the seasoning. And be careful. Go very low when you're dropping your dough. Hold your spoon very, very low. Do not go high and drop it in because you don't want to burn yourself. And when you drop it in, use the spoon to move the dough in the middle so you don't get it clunky in the middle. You use the spoon and you just spread it in the middle. That way it comes out nice and thin and crispy. And I'm just gonna do 2 at a time for now, or if I have the space. So let me see the space. So as I said, when you're dropping your dough, go very low. Don't have the spoon too high because you don't want it to burn you. Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you. You don't want it to burn you. So as much space as your pan can take, you put as much in there as the pan can take. And again, you go in the middle and you just spread it out. That way you get that nice crispiness, and it also comes out cooking evenly. It also comes out cooking evenly. So right now I have 3 in there, and that's enough for the oil that I have. I have 3 in there, and I'm just going to let those cook. I'm just going to let those cook. Welcome, welcome all those who are watching. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. So, I'm just gonna let those cook evenly. Also, I don't put it on very high heat because I want the dough to cook properly. I want the dough to cook properly. So I don't put it on very high heat. I just let it take time. See? It's doing its thing on its own. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Those that are on, thank you. Okay? So while that is cooking, okay, I'll be back. I'm just gonna get something while that is cooking. So I would say, see, okay, so how you know when to turn it is when you move it. You see, when I use the spatula and I move it, nothing drains out of it because it's cooked through and through. So nothing is going to drain back in the oil when it's properly ready for turning. So then you can easily turn it over. And guys, I love to use spatulas to cook versus a fork because it doesn't scrape. It doesn't scrape the pots. I love to use spatula to cook more than a fork or even a spoon because it doesn't scratch the pot, and then you get to hold the food. Yes. Then it gets, when it holds the food, it holds it really, really good. So I love to use spatula to cook. So that dough, so see, they're cooking very good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Karen Thomas, good afternoon. Thanks for coming in. I was wondering where you are. I just asked Sharon for you. Thanks for coming in, guys. Like for me. I'm making Jamaican fritter. Nutritionally adaptive for me as a diabetic. And for those of you who are just coming on, you can re-watch the video and you will see the twist I put on it. So I have them in here and they're doing their thing. You're at work. I figured most people are at work this time. Because it's what, five something where you are? Mom First Kitchen! How are you? Welcome, 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 welcome. Like for me, guys. Like for me, like for me. I am doing good. And how are you, Mom? Mom First Kitchen, how are you? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. I'm making Jamaican fritter. Oh, everybody's at work, I know. And I thank all of you guys who are still and watching under the desk or watching around your television where nobody can see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm making Jamaican fritter. Adaptable for diabetic lifestyle. And you can go back and watch the video and you'll see how I do it. You'll see how I do it. Welcome, welcome. Happy to hear, Mom Face. Happy to hear. I love when people are doing good. I love when people are doing good. Happy to hear. So again, I'm waiting on these. And you turn them as you go. I love them to have a nice, light, brownish color. Nice brownish color. I love them to have. So and because the dough is sitting and it's liquid, whenever you're gonna pour in the oil, always stir it. Stir it so you get all that goodness of the fritter and the goodness of the fritter. The goodness of the codfish, and you get the goodness of all those onions and thyme and that you put in there. So I stir it every time I'm going to drop one. Okay? Because I want all that goodness. I just don't want dough in my fritter. Thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. Continue to like and share for me. Continue to like for me. Continue to show me the love that you guys show me in writing. Show me with the likes. Show me with the likes. I love having you talk to me. So show it to me by liking, guys. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Home Care Queen TV and vlog. I don't know if you guys noticed, I have added the word vlog to my channel because I've decided to do some vlogging in the middle. So I'm here making Jamaican fritter my way. My way. And as you go back and watch the video, you'll see the twist that I put on it. And I tell you, it's delicious. It's delicious. And I use them as a snack. This Easter, I tell you something. My friends came out full force to me this Easter. This is the first time, and I don't think I showed you all, but this is the first time I've had Jamaican cheese. Not just a little piece of cheese from a friend. I have the whole can of cheese. And then I got this humongous bun. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. And I got a can of cheese. And then I got codfish. It's the first time since I live in Arizona. The West Indian products are very, very hard to get here. Yes, we can get them, but I'm not driving that distance to get them. We can get them, but it's a drive. And I'm not driving that distance. When I go to visit my friend, she always have some Jamaican food to share with me. And this Easter, I got bun and cheese from New York. I got codfish from Jamaica. I mean, this Easter, I really had a cultural Easter. I really had a cultural Easter. So that's why I'm doing this, because I got the codfish, and I buy my ackee on Amazon. So I get the, and they do have codfish on Amazon, but I'm not a codfish lover. And the price that Amazon sells it for, I'm not gonna buy it because I'm not a codfish lover. I love my ackee with salmon. So I buy my ackee from Amazon and I love it with salmon. I love it either plain or with salmon. So here's my fritter. They're doing good. They're doing good. And because I have a good rising agent in it, look at them, guys. You want to taste it? You want to taste it, guys? Here. Here. Okay, I got to go over to your page, Mom Phrase. I meant to do it last night and I fell asleep. So here, Mom Phrase, here, Jeanette, here, Sharon. You can't say I didn't share. You can't say I didn't share my fritter. And for all of those who are watching, oh, you made homemade Easter bun? Oh my goodness, Manfred. Oh my goodness. That is good. Karen, you like it? Okay. Homemade Easter bun, Manfred. Next year I gotta order one from you. Patronize you. Do you sell them? Okay, for all those of you who are not in the chat, thank you for coming on. I know it's the middle of the day. Well, not the middle, but it's 3 o'clock here. 3:17 here, so thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to go on later, but I decided to go on now because I had the time. Oh, you don't make it and sell it, Manfred? Okay. Maybe you should do a sample with your friends and ask them how it is and then make it and sell it. You should use your friends as your guinea pig and make your bun and sell it. Let them sample it. Your co-workers, let them sample it. That's how things are started, So see, those that are finished, I'm resting them over here. I'm resting them over here to get some of the oil out. I'm resting them over here to get some of the oil out. Welcome, welcome those who are watching. Welcome, thanks for coming on. Give me some love, guys, by liking. Give me some love by liking. I can feel the love, so show it to me in the likes. I can feel the love, guys, so show it to me in the likes. So again, when you're... Oh, you did, Karen. I'm so happy you did. I'm so happy you enjoyed that tour yesterday. Did you like the video and share it for me? So guys, remember, when you are using oil, even if you're frying fish, go down very low. Do not stay up top and drop it in because you can really burn yourself. So go as low as you possibly can. I generally go as low as the top of my pot. See the top of my pot right here? I go that low when I'm frying, so I'm not burning myself. So they're doing good. They're coming out very, very good. And I tasted it and it's very tasty. Again, I have a secret ingredient in it. For those of you who came on late, when you have the time, rewatch the video and you will see the secret ingredient I use to make it of nutritional value for me as a diabetic. Okay? So again, welcome guys. The fritters are doing good. Fritters are doing good. See, this is the finished product over here. And these are here. And I don't know how, I'm still learning, because this is what, 10 weeks since I started my channel. So I'm still learning. I don't know how to post my pictures yet. I don't know how to post my welcome. Those of you who are just joining, I welcome you. Welcome. Go ahead and like. I don't know how to post my picture yet. I'm trying to read up on it, but I am so not a technical person. Okay, Manfred, so you should start selling it. I would patronize you next year. I would patronize you next year with your bun, as long as you don't use Lord or anything like that. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming in. Continue to like and share. Oh, great. You should sell it next year, Manfred. You should really sell it next year. You should think about it and sell it next year. Because I would support you as long as you don't use Lord in it. Okay, so see, my fritter, they're nice and crispy. Nice and crispy on the outside. See that? Look at that. Nice and crispy on the outside. Okay? So that's how I like them. And for those of you, when you go back to watch the first part of the video, if you have any question, let me know. If you have any question, put it in the comment, let me know. Let me know. So, see, this is the second batch. The first batch is out. The second... Oh, really, Manfred? Oh, coconut oil, Karen. Coconut oil, I don't use a lot of it. Again, welcome. Thanks to those who are jumping in and out that are at work still. Karen, I don't use coconut oil too much. When I'm making rice and beans, Jamaican rice and peas, I use coconut milk. I use the fresh coconut and the coconut milk. And when I'm doing stew peas, I'll put a little coconut oil in there, vegetarian stew peas. I mainly make. I put a little bit of the coconut oil in there to give it that punchy flavor. But because coconut oil is so full of cholesterol, I don't use much coconut oil. I'm an olive oil girl. I'm using a canola oil here because corn oil is too much for me. So I'm using a canola oil. And let me say, I can cook for anyone, not just diabetic diet. But because the channel supports and advocates and re-educate caregivers, especially those that are in the home, how to, assist diabetics in changing up their meals. And since I'm a diabetic and I'm cooking, I cook for me as a diabetic. But I can cook for people who are not diabetic. I have been told that I'm a very good cook all my life. So I could cook anything. I just learned to bake, believe it or not. I learned to bake during COVID. I was so bored. I learned to bake. And guess what's the downfall with baking, Mom Frey's Kitchen? The downfall with baking, guess what it is for me? Karen, guess what the downfall with baking is for me? Why I don't do it a lot. Guess why? Are you kidding, Mom Frays? Where are you? Do you live in Jamaica? I don't bake a lot because I eat. I'm a foodie. And I live alone and I will eat that mess off. I will eat that mess off. So I don't bake a lot. I will just eat it. A slice every time I move. I take a slice. I go out and I come back, I take a slice. I eat something, I take a slice. So I had to stop baking because I can eat a whole cake for the week. So I had to stop baking. Now the wonderful thing is my neighbors, when I bake, I give them. When I bake, I give them. So I bake sometimes because I know, okay, let me give my neighbors a treat. But if I bake it and keep it home, I will eat that thing off. Let me tell you, the outside of the dough is so crispy. And when I bite in the middle, it's just that codfish and the habanero pepper and the green pepper and the, okay, the habanero pepper and the green pepper and that thyme just comes through. That thyme just comes through. See? So they're coming along really, really good. Anyone have any question for me? Or could you share how you do your Jamaican fritter? I know how to do it the Jamaican way, as I said. I know how to do it the regular way. But I always cook with my food having the greatest nutritional value. Because I don't go on diets. Diabetic eating is a lifestyle. It's not about diet. Diet doesn't work for me. Because going on a diet, you lose the weight, the numbers go down, but then they pop back up, which is so unhealthy. So the lifestyle, eating healthy, knowing what I'm eating, that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm all about. So the second batch is going, ouch. Trying to move the phone and almost burn myself up. The second batch, there it is. The second batch now is going to go over where I have it cooling off. So it's going to go over there. And you make sure you have space so the oil from one don't run on the other, because this is taking all that oil out so you don't have that oily taste in it. So this is the second batch. Oh, I see, Karen, you never tried it from scratch. Oh, yeah, I'm a from scratch woman with my cooking. I'm a from scratch woman with my cooking. Cooking is one of my hobbies, my greatest hobby. I love to cook and I love to entertain. I love to see people eat my food and go, wow, this is good. I love that. So, just gonna drop that habanero right here on the side. Just for a quick minute. Drop it on the side, get a little punch, a little more punchiness in it. And take it out real quick because habanero peppers are very, very hot. They're very flavorful. You love sausage fritter. I wish you could taste this one. I wish you could taste this one. So my first batch is done. And I'm going to put the second batch in. Look at that, guys. This is the first batch. Look at that. Look how crispy it looks. And it is so crispy. So the first batch is done. I never thought that a cup and a half of flour would make so much, but I'll have some. I can freeze them. I can freeze them. And did you know that you can freeze codfish? Yes, you can freeze it. You freeze it, you wrap it in parchment paper. Even fried fish, you wrap it in parchment paper and then put it in the freezer bag. Don't just put it in the freezer bag. without the parchment paper. And then you just take one at a time out. When you're ready to eat it, you take it out about half an hour, even with my patties. Oh, I forgot. I was naming all the stuff I got for the first time I'm living in Arizona. All the Jamaican food I got. So I got some patties. I got patties. I got bun and cheese. I got codfish. First time from I'm living here. My friends decided that, okay, we're going to get her in the Easter mode. And they certainly did. They certainly did, because this codfish is from my Easter gifts. You know, you guys don't laugh. Karen, here's my problem. Please, guys, don't laugh. I gotta tell you, Karen, every time I do fried dumpling, I have to throw them out. I have a problem with fried dumplings. I don't like it between my fingers, so I use my mixer. You know, the cake mixer. I use that to do the dough, and then I roll. I can't believe I'm sitting here telling you all this. I use that to roll the dough, to mix the dough, my cake mixer, and then I roll it out. I roll it out on my countertop with my roller, and then I use a knife and cut them, and they never come out good. The first time, no, I'm serious. The first time I did it, I was so proud. Y'all think I'm playing. The first time I made fried dumpling, I have a friend here, and she is all into her Jamaican stuff. When I want good Jamaican food, I just gotta call her. And I was so proud of myself. She loves my cooking. So I was, welcome, guys. Welcome. Thanks for coming on. Those of you who are just watching and not in the chat, remember to like. Show me some love, guys. Like up this chat, guys. Please, please, please. Share it on your Facebook page. Encourage your friends to like it, please. So, guys, I'm serious, Karen and Mom First Kitchen. I'm serious, and those others who are not in the chat. So I was so proud of myself. My girlfriend was coming over for dinner. No, what was it? She was coming for breakfast. And I said to her, I have a surprise for you. And she said to me, anything you cook, I'm happy with it. And I was like a 2-year-old baby in a toy store. I was so happy to serve her this dumpling. What I did dumpling and salmon and codfish. And she loved, dumpling and salmon and ackee, because I don't like ackee and codfish. And I was so excited. I knew she would love the ackee and the salmon, because she never saw it put together like that, she said before. And I put that dumpling on the table. I was so proud of myself. I had it all set with my orange juice, and my table was set for my friend, because that's my sister friend, When she bit in it, she went, what the hell is this? So I said, no, it's not when she bit in it. It's when I took it to the table. I set the table, I put the ackee on the plate, and I put some plantains on the plate, but I did not put the dumplings, because that was a surprise. And when I rest the plate with the dumplings on the table, she go, what the hell is that? Oh my God. Okay, Mom First, I'm definitely going to go over your page again. And I put it on the table, and she goes, what is this, woman? You were born in Jamaica. I go, I don't like to feel it in between my fingers. And she goes, well, don't serve it. And she ate around the corners. because she said it was so nice and fluffy and crispy. She ate around the corners, but the middle was so soft. So I don't know how to make dumplings. I don't know how to make dumplings. I keep telling myself I'm going to try. I keep telling myself I'm going to try it the old-fashioned way. And one of these days, I'm going to try it. I don't like kneading that flour. I don't like doing that. Yeah. So she says, how did you destroy? She said, how did you destroy this when you can cook so good? What did you do? I said, I put it in the food processor and knead it. And she's like, what? So she said, how did it come out looking like this? So I said, I used the pizza roller, a pizza dough roller, and I rolled it and then I cut it with a knife. And guys, she gave me one slap. She's like, woman, don't tell nobody that. So that was the first time I made fried dumplings. That was the first time and the last time I made fried dumplings. But I'm going to give it a try. She promised me she's going to teach me one of these days. Yeah. But it was funny. It was very, very funny. I don't think she'll ever eat fried dumplings. She told me, she says, you traumatized me. You know, and she makes the best fried dumplings. But she tell me you have to use your hand. And I have a problem with that. So we're on the second batch of our fritter. We're in the second batch. As I said, I did not know it would turn out so well. So we're on the second batch of our fritter, and I tell you, it is so tasty. And let me know, guys. Yeah, I can't use glove. I tried the glove thing, but you know, because I worked in the hospital all these years, and gloves associated with blood, and you know, I don't use blood. I don't use gloves in my kitchen, and that's just a mental thing I have. I use gloves so much. 38 years, I've worked in the medical field, and I've used gloves so much that I don't associate gloves with anything healthy. So I don't even use kitchen gloves. Gardening gloves, that's easy for me to use because it's the garden. But coming in the kitchen and using a glove is very difficult for me. Very, very difficult. Yeah, so that's my story, Karen, with my dumplings. I don't know how to make dumplings because I'm afraid of them in my finger. I'm afraid. See, guys, this little piece I broke off the edge. Look at that. You hear the crunch? So crunchy. So crunchy. Thanks, guys, that are watching. Those of you who are not engaged in the chat, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I know the little pieces. I know, but again, Karen, it's like with anything in life, the things that I wouldn't say it's like trauma. No, it's not like trauma, but it's the association. All my life, gloves for this, gloves for that. So I don't use it in my kitchen. It's just me. I know I have some strange ways, don't I? Don't I have some strange ways? It's just me. I'm a mental person, and mental people, those things bother, you know? Yeah. And this is the reason why I wash my hands so much, because I don't use gloves in my kitchen. If I have to, like if I'm entertaining and I have to do a big roast and take it out of the oven, now I use my kitchen glove. And those big crunkly gloves I used to take food out the kitchen. But to use the gloves that looks like the one I've used all my life, it's a bit hard for me. So I'm on a third batch. I did not know that a cup and a half of flour would have yielded so much fritter. And as I said before, I can freeze them. And my girlfriend should be coming by this week to see me. So when she comes, I'll be able to give her some. And my neighbor right next to me, anything I cook and I share it with her, she enjoys it. So I'll share some of this with her too. So welcome, guys. Thanks for watching. We're almost finished. So I'm getting ready to finish up. I'm getting ready to finish up here. I'm just cleaning as I go. I'm getting ready to finish up here. So I'm on my last batch. And I'm telling you, these pieces, I'm just, you know those little pieces that on the edge that falls off? I'm just having a ball with them. Okay, guys, let me see if I can get this phone off. So now, I have finished that batch. And I'm going to show you the final results. I'm going to show you the final results now that I've finished that batch. I'm going to show you the final results. Like and share, guys, like and share. I need your support. You have been so good to me over the last 2 months I've been on this journey. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. And the next topic I'm coming up with on the home care side of my channel the next topic will be understanding your doctor's order. Understanding the doctor's order for the client. That's the next one. But let me show you guys. Let me show you. This is the finished product. Can anyone screenshot that for me? Because I don't know how to do it. Can someone screenshot that for me? That's the finished product, guys. That's the finished product. Look at that. We can even do it that way. Karen, Manfred's Kitchen, do you all know how to screenshot? Could you screenshot that for me? You guys know how to screenshot? I have no idea how to do it. Could you screenshot that for me? So that's